It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today for what is going to be Behind the Score episode 24. Now, y'all, we do two of these a month, and I think you all know what 2 a month times 12 months equals. It's 24. Right? So we are finishing up our first entire year cycle of extended play lounges. It's been a wonderful year. We've done a lot of just absolutely fantastic albums, and I think we've got a great album to finish out this year cycle with The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars by David Bowie. This one won our most recent polls. Thank you all for voting for this one. I must confess, my friends, I know of David Bowie. I am a big fan of David Bowie's, but I really haven't taken the time. It's going to sound like a broken record, right? I really haven't taken the time to go back and really understand and know his discography and his songs. And with this particular album, I know Starman. I mean, come on. But I'm not sure how many others I will recognize, to be quite honest. I do know this. I have never intentionally listened to this album from front to back, so this is a first time for me, and I am glad that you are with me. This album is the fifth studio album from David Bowie, released 50 years ago in June of 1972. It is classified as a concept album, but according to my reading in, it wasn't conceived that way. Much of the story and the narrative that is built around this was put together and written during the editing process after the songs had been recorded. So who is Ziggy Stardust? Ziggy is David Bowie's alter ego, and Ziggy is this androgynous rock star, alien rock star sent to Earth to save us all from impending doom. And I think he wins our hearts at first, but he has a fall from grace because he lets his ego get too much in the way. So we get the rise and the fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. And by the way, who are the Spiders from Mars, and do we need to be scared of them? It turns out they're not spiders. They're just the band. So the band is the Spiders from Mars, so we can be alleviated from that phobia here. The music, as I read, is a mixture of pop and glam rock infused sounds. The lyrics focus on artificiality in rock music, and it touches on politics, drugs, sexuality, and stardom itself. It is considered to be one of David Bowie's strongest albums, and it continues to appear on many best of lists all these years later. So we've got David Bowie on vocals, acoustic guitar, and the saxophone. Mick Ronson is on electric guitar, piano, backing vocals, and string arrangements. Trevor Bolder is on the bass, and Mick Woodmansey is on the drums. And I have the studio album pulled up here, so let's go right through it, y'all. This is the first track. We're going to start off side one with the song 5 Years, and it goes like this. Here we go.
So many mothers sighing. News had just come over.
Okay.
We had 5 years left crying. News guy wept and told us
Simple progression. Down to E,
really dying.
6 chord.
Cried so
2, but it's a major chord, which makes it 5 of 5.
then I knew
But it doesn't go to 5, it goes to 4. It goes to the C chord.
I had
4,
telephone,
1.
opera house, favorite melodies. Saw boys, toys, electric irons and TVs. My brain hurt like a warehouse, it had no room to spare. I had to cram so many things to store everything in there. I'm not
Sometimes my brain feels like that.
And all the tall, short people.
There's just the regular 2, the 4,
And all the nobody people.
1. All the fat, skinny people, the tall, the short people, and all the nobody people. I never thought I'd need so many people. So we're being told
Girl my age went off ahead.
that the Earth has only 5 years left. Right? We're breaking the news.
If the black hadn't have pulled her off, I think she would have killed them.
It's very narrative. The chord progression is simple and repetitive to get all this text into us here.
Cop knelt and kissed the feet of a priest, and the queer threw up beside his bed. I think I saw you in an ice cream parlor, drinking milkshakes cold and long, smiling and waving and looking so fine. Don't think you knew you were in the song.
That doesn't remind me of David Bowie's voice,
So
though.
I felt like an actor, and I thought of more, and I wanted to get back there. Your face, your race, the way that you talk. I kiss you, you're beautiful. I want you to walk. We got 5 years
Okay.
stuck on mine.
I think he's starting to contemplate his own mortality a bit. He's remembering maybe a lost love. 5 years, y'all. That's all we got. My brain hurts a lot. I don't think I've ever heard this. It definitely does set up the story. It's like, all right, y'all, we're just gonna check out soon. And the vocal is getting more and more intensely sort of emotional about it. He's really contemplating, shit, we only got 5 years. 5 years. So cue Ziggy. We need Ziggy, y'all. And it lands in G. Same drums that brought us in take us out. Well, all right, we're into it, y'all. We are into it. And next up, the second song is called Soul Love, and it's one of these that it looks like we get to meet Ziggy here. So off we go with Soul Love. From Ziggy Stardust. Here we go. Starts with percussion again. Same key as before. G.
She kneels before the grave of brave.
And a completely different vocal color.
Who gave his life to save the slogan.
So this is Ziggy singing now, I think.
And her eyes fully penetrate her grieving. You
A new love.
a boy and girl are talking new words that only they can share.
Words only they can share.
Love so strong it tears their hearts.
Love so strong it tears their hearts to sleep through the fleeting hours of the morning. Huh.
Love is careless in its choosing, sweeping over, crossing lately. Love descends
Whoa,
on those
this one's somewhere different.
idiot love.
That's the 5.
Inspirations have I none, just a touch of flaming dove. All I have is my love of love, and love is not loving.
It's David on the saxophone. Rock and roll.
So love, the priest that tastes the word untold of love.
Change keys. He went to A.
God on high is all love. The reaching up my loneliness evolves by the blindness that surrounds him.
Huh.
Love is careless in its choosing, sweeping over, crossing baby. Love descends on those defenseless, idiot love with false confusion. Inspirations have I none, just a touch of flaming dove. All I have is my love of love, and love is not loving.
Same progression, just up in A instead of in G where you started. Thought he was switching up the meter at some point. You know, with all of the music that we've been listening to on this channel, it's almost refreshing to come to music, at least so far, that is as straightforward harmonically and the way that it's arranged and presented as it is. That's really it makes it a little bit easier to follow. I will say that. But the other thing is that it's just it's not trying to be smarter than everybody else in the room. You know, he's just, I'm Ziggy. Come on now, I'm singing along. And in this song, Soul Love, I think he's talking about all these different types of love. He's noticing all the different ways that love can manifest itself in human nature. And I think he finds value in that, and he, I think, is motivated to come to Earth and help to save us. So I believe that's what is happening here in this particular song. And we're going to move ahead to Moonage Daydream. This is song number 3. And this is a song, as I read in, that was from a previous project that David Bowie did, and it was re-recorded for this particular album. So here we go with Moonage Daydream. Here we go.
I'm an alligator.
Right into it, not much of an intro.
Mama, Papa coming for you. I'm a space invader. I'll be a rock and rollin' bitch for you.
I'll be a rock and rollin' bitch for all of you.
Your mouth shut.
Ziggy Stardust.
Walking like a big monkey bird.
Record.
Busting up my brains for the world.
6. 5.
Keep your electric on.
Did that before. He did 5 of 5 to 4 instead of 5. Twice.
Your
David.
ray gun smile. Press your space nose for my love. Freak out
Yeah.
in a Moonage Daydream, oh yeah. Don't fake it, baby.
Wish you could hear more of the drums. The drums seem a little bit back in the mix.
The Church of Mad Love is such a holy place to be.
Make me know you really care. Make me jump into the air. I think he's just describing himself. He's just kind of introducing himself. Like, you can trust me. Keep your electric eye on me, babe. You can put your ray gun to my head. Press your space face close to mine. It's all gonna be fine, y'all.
Freak out in a Moonage Daydream. Oh, yeah.
So now they're in the relative minor. D minor, down to A, down to 6, the G chord, then F sharp becomes major. Resolves it to G. So now he gets back into the relative major key. Back to the minor key. Yeah, so that becomes 5. Down to 5. Dominant back to 1. B minor, relative minor, from where we started. Listen to that. Sounds like a daydream. Basic progression, just right down the scale in the minor key. The soundscape, though, behind some of that is really interesting. Kind of sci-fi in that sound. Okay. So there's Ziggy getting to introduce himself to all of us. And getting us to figure out if we can trust him or not. And now we go to Starman. I think I've heard this one, y'all. Let's get to it. Starman by David Bowie. Here we go. That's got more debris in the sound in that opening chord than I remember. It's like 4 to 1.
Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low. Oh, oh. I leaned back on my radio. Oh, oh. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll, not a soul said. Then the loud
starts these phrases on the 2 chord. Goes down to 1. So he's in F.
DJ that was hazy cosmic jive. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting.
So this was the first single from the album that introduced Ziggy to the world, and it's from the point of view of those of us here on Earth. We are enamored with this guy named Ziggy. children boogie, y'all. Goes right to the 2-chord. So here's everybody spreading the word. Look out your window. Switch on the TV. Don't tell your papa or he'll get us locked up in fright. It's not lost on me, especially going through and reading into this, that he's choosing to communicate with the kids and not the adults. With only 5 years left of the Earth's existence, he's focusing on the kids. Smart Ziggy, if you ask me.
Children use it, let all the children boogie. Starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting.
I don't think I ever got the full context of this before. Makes more sense.
It's all worthwhile, he told me. Let the children use it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie.
Simple songs. They really are. It's not metal, obviously. It's not prog. So this is a little bit different for us, right? To listen to kind of straight ahead, almost folk pop, but glammed up because of the just the image that David portrayed, right? Really, really, really interesting. Cool. I like that tune. Starman. Classic, right? How can you not love that one? So we move on to It Ain't Easy, and this one I believe is the only cover that is on the album. This one was written by a guy named Ron Davies, and it goes like this. Here we go. Pretty sure he's an A. A suspended down to A. And again, a completely different vocal color. That's really impressive that he can take on different personas with his own vocal performance throughout the album. It's kind of a loose concept, isn't it? I mean, it's easy to understand that these songs were recorded without the narrative in mind, and then we kind of put them in sequence as they comment on the overall arc of the story that they want to tell. And now that we've figured out what the problem is, we figured out who Ziggy is, he's introduced himself, and we are looking to him in Starman and excited for him to come. And now we remember there's still only 5 years left to live, and it ain't going to be easy. So we've got a hard road ahead of us. I don't know the original to this either, so I'm not sure how different it is from the original version. It ain't easy to get to heaven when you're going down. Metaphorically means, I think, it's not easy to succeed when you're up against something that's very, very difficult in front of you. And that's the end of the first side, right? That's all of the first side. We're already there, y'all. Amazing. I'm enjoying myself immensely. These are lovely little tunes. We turned the page, though, to side 2. We're going to turn the record over, and the first song on side 2 is called Lady Stardust. And as I read in on this one, Lady Stardust is actually a boy, or a man, and is someone who wears makeup. Verse 1, people stared at the makeup on his face, laughed at his long black hair, his animal grace. The boy in bright blue jeans jumped up on the stage. Lady Stardust sang his songs of darkness and disgrace. And I think that they're talking about, you know, this look into sexuality and androgyny and just letting your own personality shine through, even if it's a little bit different than the societal norm. And in society, I think off the stage, he's a little bit of a freak. But on the stage, I think he's a little bit of a star, right? So it may be different depending on where he is and what he's doing. So let's start off with David Bowie and Lady Stardust. Here we go. Okay. Little out-of-tune piano. That's 4-1.
People stare at the makeup on his face, laughed at his long black hair, his animal grace.
5-6-6.
The boy in the bright blue jeans jumped up on the stage.
When he's all right here in the chorus, it turns to a nicer sound, doesn't it?
Really quiet out of sight, and he sang all night.
He sang all night long.
Then fades out, he emerged from shadows to watch this creature bear. Boys stood upon their
He's in A major.
to make their point of view.
Leading tone to F sharp.
I smiled sadly, for long I could not obey.
Is that C sharp chord?
Lady Stardust,
Back to A.
sang songs of darkness and dismay, and he was all right. The band was all together, yes, he was all right. His song went on forever, and he was up all night. Really quiet paradise, and he
Turns to
sang
minor 5, then goes chromatically down the scale for a little phrase. That's really cool.
Ooh, how I sighed when they asked if I knew his name. Oh, it was all right.
the descending chromatic bass line? Starts on that E. Back like the beginning. With those leading tone notes that resolve late. It's kind of nice. It's aspirational a little bit. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Lady Stardust. I don't think I've ever heard that tune. Y'all, this is largely unfamiliar to me. It really, really is. But it sounds great. Here is Star, the next song, and we have another reference to Star. We've had Starman, and now we get just a song called Star. So it goes like this. Here we go. Pretty basic. Ah. Except it's not 1 to 5, it's 4 to 1. I got the 4th and the 5th from double cross. It's like flat 6, flat 7, 1 in the major key. So inviting, so enticing to play the part. I could play the wild mutation as a rock and roll star. Get it on. So he has a big time desire. This is where we're starting to see his ego come through. He wants to be a star. His ego wants to get out and take a stroll.
I could fall asleep at night as a rock and roll star. I could fall in love alright as a rock and roll star.
I could fall asleep, I could fall in love. Very easily as a rock and roll star. I think I could be one of those. And that one is gonna finish up. That's interesting, y'all. We Ziggy's here and he's going along, and now he really does want to be a star. And the bridge here, I could do with the money. I'm so wiped out with things as they are. I'd send my photograph to my honey. I'd come on like a regular superstar. I could make a transformation as a rock and roll star. So he's ready to do it. He's ready to hit it big. And the next song, let's see what happens to him, is called Hang On to Yourself. So let's see, maybe there's a not so fast moment here for our superstar. Let's see where this one goes. Hang on to yourself, y'all. Here we go. I also read that this one was from a previous project, like the other song earlier. That's some fast words.
Come on, we really
get going, y'all. Just hang on. Huh. They're saying, jump on board, y'all, or get left behind. You're either, are you with us or not? Let's do it. And it's like a no take no prisoners kind of attitude, right? Almost reminds me of a punk mentality, but the music reminds me of the Beatles more than punk. It's really interesting. You gotta hang on to yourself. You're gonna get left in the dust. All right. Cool. So the next one up is what I guess could be a title track. It's called Ziggy Stardust. So this one, I believe, is told from the perspective of the band members. So what do the band members think about all of this? Well, we will find out here as we listen to Ziggy Stardust. Off we go. Kind of bluesy.
Ziggy played guitar, jamming good with Red and Gilly and the Spiders from Mars. He played it left hand, but made it too far. Became the special man, then we were Ziggy's band.
It's a recap to the first song. Same key, same progression. Except for that
like some cat from
3/4 1/6.
He could lick on by smiling. He could leave until high.
And the 6. Same key. 5/5, the A chord. The C chord is the 4. Huh.
So where were the spiders? While the fly tried to break our bones. But just the fear like to guide us. So we bitched about his fans and should we crush his sweet hands.
The band is not happy. Wow. So maybe they're feeling a little bit left behind in the wake of Ziggy's success.
Jiving us that we were voodoo. The kids were just crass. He was the Nas with God-given ass.
Yeah, Ziggy has a God-given
He
ass.
took it all too far.
That he did.
But boy, could he play guitar.
We'll forgive you if you're not so nice if you can play a mean guitar, I guess. Making love with his ego, Ziggy sucked up into his mind like a leper messiah. Wow.
When the kids had killed a man, I had to break up the band. Oh yeah. Ziggy played guitar.
Short songs. They really, really are short tunes, aren't they? We're moving right along, my friends. The next tune is Suffragette City. And As I read in here, this is an homage to Lou Reed and the band the Velvet Underground, and I'm not exactly sure what this is going to sound like, but if it's an homage to the Velvet Underground, I have an idea how it might sound. I am curious if it actually does sound a little bit like that, but this is Suffragette City. Here we go. Definitely has that gruffy, rough sound, doesn't it? Made it back. It's alright. Out of sight, she is alright. Huh. Don't lean on me because you can't afford the ticket. Back from Suffragette City. Like, if you're going to hang with me, the great Ziggy Stardust, living the rock and roll lifestyle, then you better be able to hang. Right? Chromatic third, A to F. The A is the common tone between those notes. The C sharp changes to a C natural, which creates the chromatic nature of that. The tricky thing is, why call it Suffragette City? That's what I don't get. I'm not sure how that... How that connects. Suffragette at the end. Why call it Suffragette City? I don't get that. A suffragette is a woman who, historically, seeking the right to vote, right? Seeking freedom and autonomy and all that sort of stuff via like direct political action. And so I'm not sure what Suffragette City means. Maybe it's the place where all of the everything's popping, where everything's moving, and it's a sort of metaphor for how Ziggy can get caught up and how he is being caught up in this rock and roll lifestyle, and he's trying to surf and ride the wave a little bit there and see what's going on. Whew. All right. And the mowers are outside. I cannot believe that they're out mowing the lawn, and it is so hot outside today. But God bless them. I hope that y'all don't hear that too bad. I'm going to keep right on rolling. The next song is called Rock and Roll Suicide. And if that's not a title that gives away what the hell's going to happen, I wonder if it is an actual suicide. But the song, as I read in, marks the thematic death of Ziggy in the context of this album's story, and it's also, I think, the real life end to the character. I think at the end of the show, or at the end of the tour that supported this album, David went on and said that, you know, we're not going to do this anymore, or like, I'm not going to be Ziggy anymore, like, y'all are the last ones to see this. I think it's something like that. Y'all will let me know if I get that wrong. But that's the way I interpreted what I read. So let's see how this goes, y'all. This is the last one. This is Rock and Roll Suicide, and it goes like this. Here we go. Isn't it funny how C major can be melancholy?
Time takes a cigarette, puts it in your mouth.
5 of 6.
Pull on your finger.
Chromatic up to 4. 5
cigarette.
to 6. There, it made it.
The water wall is calling. It lingers, then you forget.
6.
Oh, 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 oh. You're
Just
a rock and
meandering
roll
along.
suicide. You're too old to lose it. Too young to choose it.
Too old to lose it, too young to choose it.
And the clock waits so patiently on your song. You walk past the cafe, but you don't eat when you've lived too long. Oh no, 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 you're a rock and roll suicide. Shift breaks the snarling as you stumble across the road.
Listen to the brass and octaves. That was cool.
So you hurry home. Don't let the sun blast
Guess those would be
your
saxophones.
shadow. Don't let the milk float grab your mind. They're so natural, religiously
3 verses.
unkind. Oh no, love, you're not alone.
Wow. Before we get to
You're
this.
watching yourself, but you're too unfair. You got your head all tangled up, but a bug can only make you care.
Your head's all tangled, man.
Oh no, love, you're not alone. No matter what or who you may.
It's getting more and more intense and varied as the song goes, right? That's astounding.
Just turn on with me, and you're not alone.
Just turn on with me and you're not alone.
Let's turn on and be not alone. Give me your hands.
Oh, man.
'Cause you're wonderful.
It's a friend of Ziggy's, I think, trying to reach him.
'Cause you're wonderful. Oh, give me your
Really? That's it. The whole album. Wow, y'all. You know, it's a different kind of concept album, isn't it? We've gone through some of these concept albums where we have so much music and solos and experimentation with form and key area and modulations and leitmotif and rhythm and all this stuff. And it's just a classic rock album. But it's really, really fascinating if you take it and give it the attention that it deserves. And plus, it's David performing it. I mean, he is one of these electric performers that whenever he steps on stage, you want to pay attention, right? He's got that magnetism. So I think the music may sound like that simply because he doesn't need all these bells and whistles for him to be David Bowie, right? He just is David Bowie and the music is there. In this last song, it's hard for me to tell if he actually does die or if it's more of a metaphor. And I don't think it really matters, to be honest. We see Ziggy doing poorly here under the weight of his stardom in this verse. It starts with verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, then it goes to a bridge, and then it's just an outro. There's not even really a chorus, but it builds up from this simple acoustic guitar to this big sound as it ends. It's really kind of amazing. It's moving because it reminds me of how it might feel. The point of view of the person singing that song is not Ziggy, right? It's the person trying to help Ziggy. So it feels, it's reminding me of what it feels like to watch someone that, watch someone close to me or close to one of us struggle with their issues, their problems. Maybe it's depression, maybe it's disillusionment, maybe they've lost a job or they've lost a family member or things haven't gone right professionally, what have you. It's their expectations are not being met. And there's maybe it's cynicism at first, and then it just kind of spirals into despair and helplessness. And I think that's where Ziggy ended up being. David Bowie, I found a quote that he did in a 1990 interview saying that the musician Vince Taylor was the inspiration for the character of Ziggy Stardust. And I don't know who Vince Taylor was, so I looked him up. Vince was a British rock and roll singer. He was most popular during the late 50s and the early 60s, and then his career kind of took a tumble. He fell into obscurity and lost his career due to addiction and drug use. I also think of Syd Barrett around that same time period, who really rises to stardom with Pink Floyd and then loses his career as he is struggling to make it through and to deal with the trappings of the world and his own mind. The quote from David about Vince is this. He says, quote, "He always stayed in my mind as an example of what can happen in rock and roll. I'm not sure if I held him up as an idol or as something not to become. There was something very tempting about him going completely off the edge. I think in a narrative sense. I mean, not tempting, personally, but as a way to tell a story or as a way to embody a character, that could be an interesting way to get yourself into character to sing some of these songs. I need to go back and listen to some more and watch some more of Bowie's performances because I really just don't know enough, excuse me, y'all, about him to know if I really, really do like all of his stuff as like this huge artist, or if he's just sort of in the mainstream with everything else that I'm listening to. It wasn't as flashy and bells and whistles and sounds and keyboards and guitar solos and everything that as compared to some of the stuff that we've been looking at. But I like it just the same. It's really, really a lovely listen. And it's not too long, right? I think the whole album is around 40 minutes. So it's one of the shorter extended play lounges, but that's okay. We have been listening to Ziggy Stardust, and he is along with the Spiders from Mars, and that was a lovely, lovely little album to listen to. So thanks, y'all, for suggesting this one, and it was very fun to bring this one to you all. Thanks for being with me for this edition of the Extended Play Lounge, and we will see you next time on another edition of the Daily Doug.